Hello. Goodbye. I'm not saying Colovians are dumb. They're just hard-headed. Don't talk such rot. What am I doing? Well, I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm getting you ready for today's spoiler-filled episode of Your Wrong Friend, Oblivion versus Skyrim, by reciting some of the iconic voice lines from Oblivion. Hello, my name is Jason Concepcion.
And I'm a Bill.
And welcome back to X-Ray Vision, the podcast where we dive deep into your favorite shows, movies, comics, and pop culture, coming to you from iHeart Podcast, where we're bringing you 3 episodes a week every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, plus news.
And today, we have a very special episode of Your Wrong Friend, in which we hold up our sacred opinions to attack and debate to decide what pop culture thinks someone is wrong about. So let's introduce our judges for today, the Honorable and Distinguished Aaron Kaufman, Jarl of X-Ray Vision.
Thank you, Abu. You know, I used to be a debater like the two of you, and then I took an arrow to the knee, and now here I am as the judges. Well, as we are here, I'm very excited for our debate. These are 2 iconic video games, and as we are getting ready, Jason, you're here on behalf of all of Whiterun. You're here to remind us why Skyrim is the best game in the Elder Scrolls series. But Abu doesn't agree. He's here to make the case that Oblivion is actually peak Elder Scrolls. This is Your Wrong Friend, and joining me on the Judges Council is Joelle.
I'm ready for war and blood. Let's go!
And Carmen is our standby judge in case we hit a tie. Now, a quick reminder of our format. We will have our opening statement. Jason will get 2 minutes to kick things off and share why he feels Skyrim is the best. Abu will then have 4 minutes for Your Wrong Friend, where he gets to respond to Jason's opening and argue why Oblivion is actually the better game. Jason will then get 2 minutes for No, You're Wrong Friend to respond to Abu's claims. Then we'll move to the questions. In the question round, Joelle and I each get to ask each side 1 question. So that's 4 questions total, and 1 minute for each question. Then Joelle and I will convene for the judges panel, and then we will announce our verdict. And now, let's welcome Jason and Abu to the stage to argue for superiority in the Elder Scrolls franchise. First up, Jason.
Why Skyrim is the best? Skyrim is the best because of the world that it drops you into. There's no doubt, having played and currently playing the Oblivion remake, that there are some aspects, particularly some of the player movement, the player speed, the RPG-ness of the way the game is played, the ability to combine magic spells and customize magic, that is super compelling about that game. It's a tighter story. The main storyline is tighter and is woven throughout the game, I think, in a much more efficient way. But Skyrim, the sprawling nature of it, the different worlds that you can discover, just find your way into Blackreach one of these times you replay Skyrim. The massive connected underground realm of Blackreach with all its mysteries, and realize that this place is underneath the map of Skyrim, which is in itself huge, encompassing multiple large cities, certainly more large and lively than the Oblivion versions, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. And the lore here is nothing to sneeze at either. You're dropped into a blooming civil war between the Empire and the Stormcloaks. You get to decide which side you're gonna join. You might join both. You might play each side off of each other. Both have their advantages and disadvantages. I think if you're coming from Oblivion, you'll have a renewed respect for the Empire, certainly. But this is a game that just puts an entire world at your fingertips, at the expense of some of the gameplay depth that you experience in Oblivion. Do you love to explore? You're going to be in Skyrim. And 100,000 mods and
10
counting
seconds.
for this game make the point for me. The audience has
5,
chosen,
4,
and they have chosen
3,
Skyrim.
2, 1. All right. Now, Abu, you will have 4 minutes on the clock to make your point as well as respond to Jason. You are good to go whenever you're ready.
All right. So before I respond to Jason's points, many of which were excellent, I want to start by presenting my sales pitch on why Oblivion is the best Elder Scrolls game. So the crux of my argument basically comes down to immersion and the RPG elements in Oblivion. If you, like me, are the type of gamer that loves to escape into your video game universes, loves to be taken on an incredible journey, have memorable adventures, maybe visit unique and beautiful locations along the way, meet lovable characters, then Oblivion is by far your obvious choice. Oblivion is a game in which you actually get to role play. You get to roleplay a character of your choosing that you build. Do you want to be a staff-wielding mage shooting fireballs and lightning? Go for it. Or maybe you would prefer to be a brute, swinging a warhammer that's taller than you. You can do that. Perhaps, like me, you're a soft-footed thief who snipes his foes from afar before they even see him. Go for it. Oblivion's class and leveling mechanics actually let you play a style rather than Skyrim's jack-of-all-trades approach. In Skyrim, when you can be or do anything, are you really role-playing anything beyond a generic overpowered protagonist? Because that's all Skyrim lets you do. And honestly, that sounds like fuss-row boring to me. Oblivion's gorgeous high fantasy setting also means that you get to visit some of the most iconic locations ever in Elder Scrolls, from the port city of Anvil to the wildly imaginative realm of madness, the Shivering Isles. Name one place in Skyrim that looks or feels any different from every other drab, gray and brown, snowy region in the game.
That's just flat thoughts.
Finally, I have the floor, sir. Finally, the quests in Oblivion are objectively better and more unique than Skyrim. Throughout the game, you might be transported into a painting to finish a quest. You'll be trapped in other people's nightmares and need to find a way to escape. And in one of the most iconic quests in the game, you get to throw a murder party. Along the way, you're going to meet a lot of memorable characters. Just to highlight a few: the Grey Fox, head of the Thieves Guild, cool guy. Sheogorath, weird guy. Boris, really nice guy, love him. Ultimately, Oblivion is a game for lovers of good stories, deep RPG mechanics, and beautiful worlds. And I would argue that Skyrim is for people who want to just mindlessly swing a sword and not think too hard. And with my remaining time, I want to address just some of the notes that my opponent laid out. First of all, I would argue that the civil war that's present within Skyrim is nothing more than set dressing. It's just the backdrop to the game. It has no real-world effect on the game itself or the outcomes of the world. The world is barely shaped by those events or the quote-unquote choices that you make throughout. Oblivion, on the other hand, the Oblivion gates themselves have a noticeable impact on the gameplay. And when you go through the main story, you can close those Oblivion gates, which reshapes the world that you explore. That is something that Skyrim lacks. Also, on the point of mods, I have only a few remaining seconds left, so I'll say this. If your game needs this many mods to be good, then I don't feel like you finished the game in the first place, and your community's doing the work for you. Whoops. I yield the rest of my time.
Wow, some incendiary things there. Goodness gracious. I hope no one from the modding community was listening. Jason, you now have 2 minutes to respond to Abu.
Sure. There's a reason that Grand Theft Auto 5 is still being played now, a decade after the game. It's because of the community that Abu so casually insults. The community around Skyrim is not only huge, but it's so dedicated to the underlying mechanics, the structure, the world created by that game, that they work for free to create mods that build out the Civil War, that put a beautiful sheen on it, that create new quest lines, that create new cabins and things that you can have. The marketplace, because these games are created by creators so that fans can enjoy them. The fact that so many fans enjoy them and want to keep it alive
1 minute.
is not, for me, a negative point. I think it's a beautiful, positive point that speaks to the vitality around a game that is now, 15 years old or something like that? It wasn't until Bethesda, for some beautiful reason, decided to release this remake that people began to play Oblivion once again in the numbers that can even approach Skyrim, which has not had any kind
30
of
seconds.
meaningful Bethesda-led update in many, many years. Skyrim's popularity speaks for itself and speaks quite loudly about what the world thinks is the more playable, more vital, more living and breathing world. And that's to take nothing away from Oblivion, which is a fantastic
5
game.
seconds.
But how dare you, sir? How dare you?
All right. What a Oh, stop. Please stop ringing. Please stop ringing. All right. Great. Thank you. We have time. We're going to jump to a little break right now.
Sure.
We're going to go level up our stealth, and when we come back, we will move into the judges' questions. Joelle, do you want to do questions first, or do you want me to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. Reminder, you're going to get 1 minute for each of the questions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And we're back. First up, I'd like to ask Abu a question. Abu, you spent a lot of time there. Actually, not a lot of time. A very short amount of time, but it was very loud, deploring the mods of Skyrim. My question to you, is it not fun for you to play the game where the dragons are replaced by Thomas the Tank Engine and the enemies are replaced by SpongeBob? Is that not a fun thing for you? You have 1 minute.
Okay, this is maybe a very square answer for me, but no, I've never really delved into the modding world. I play the vanilla game, and I find modding, frankly, to be... maybe I'm starting to sound like an old person, but I find it confusing. How do I install the mods? Is it going to work when they
I can
patch
help
the
you.
next game? Is it not going to work? Can I make it work on my Xbox? No. Do I have to play on PC? I find the modding world incredibly confusing. So if I sound dismissive of it, it comes
30
from
seconds.
a place of total and utter confusion. I greatly respect all the folks that are putting in countless hours into polishing and adding more to this expansive universe, and I will hand it to Bethesda for creating the mod tools and opening up their game to the modding community. That's respectable. I will note
10 seconds.
they've done that for both Skyrim and Oblivion, so I don't see that as an argument in Skyrim's favor.
All right. Jason, my question for you. You talked
Yeah.
a little bit about the Civil War that's going on, the vast map, but I'm coming from Animal Crossing, and I really want to know, why are the houses in Skyrim better than the houses in Oblivion that you can own for your character?
Why are they better? Well, there's more of them. They are more customizable with gardens and with trophies and with weapons racks and with lots of different knickknacks that you can add to different places. They are spread across the map as they are in Oblivion, to be fair. But I would argue, even though Abu, I think, inaccurately decried the Skyrim map as banal and the same, it spans lots of different environments. You can have a cabin in the snow. You can have a apartment in the side of a mountain in the
snow.
east. You can have a mansion in the imperial capital city. Like, you can do a lot of different things, and every single
10
room is
seconds.
customizable, you can build it, and you can move your family in. And have the wonder of, like, some random bard, like, wandering in and playing music. It's just
And
living
that's
in a
time.
life.
All right,
Wow.
Joelle, your questions.
So I'm going to give my first question to Jason. Jason, you mentioned the joy of playing Skyrim, but then Abu had that great point about maybe you're just swinging a sword. What is it about the fight mechanics that outdoes what Oblivion is doing?
Well, I'm not gonna try and argue that the RPG-ness of Oblivion isn't deeper. There's a trade-off here, right? And it's the customizable aspect of your character in Oblivion versus the depth and richness of the world. What I take issue with is this idea that, like, we're not all just doing Sneak Archer in both fucking games. Let's stop this, sir. Let's stop this silliness and stop pretending that we're doing anything else in both games other than crouching through the fucking tunnels of a cave and sniping somebody with a maybe poisoned arrow and some magic bow. That's what we're doing in both
10
games.
seconds.
Okay, we're doing it in both games. I would add that there are some cool mods for Skyrim that add wonderful gory death animations, slow-mo death animations. You can't do that in
And
Oblivion.
that's time. All
Oh
right.
man. Okay. For Abu, I take Jason's point of tighter storytelling. I'm with you. I prefer an RPG style game. I want to make my character. I want to insert myself into the game. But I often find that in most RPG games, that means I am suffering for story. What makes a story in Oblivion strong enough to compete with what Skyrim is doing?
I think that Oblivion's story in every aspect is stronger than Skyrim's. Yes, you get dragons in Skyrim, but in Oblivion you have a wide cast of characters. You go to many different regions. You do a number of unique quests. Just take, for example, any of the quest lines in Oblivion, which are better than the quest lines in Skyrim. Thieves Guild and Dark Brotherhood in particular. One of the most notable things in those quest lines is that along the way you level up within the
30
guild.
seconds?
You are given clear progression, and that gives you a sense of achievement as you work your way up through a guild. You are introduced to more guild characters and more inner guild politics and drama, and in many of these quest lines, you
15
rise
seconds?
to be the top of that particular guild. You rise through those ranks. Skyrim, to me, the storylines, the quest lines don't give you that same level of satisfaction.
5. Oh, all right.
Wow. Wow.
We are going to move into our closing statements. Jason, you will get 1 minute, and then Abu will get 1 minute himself. Ready when you are.
Okay, I'm ready. Skyrim is a legend. Its popularity speaks for itself. It is a framework around which a vibrant community who I respect, unlike my opponent, has come to breathe renewed life and renewed vigor into a game that has a legacy that is now stretched a decade plus. It has various ways to play, even though you're going to play as a sneak archer. I don't want to downplay the RPG-ness of Skyrim, which, while not on the complexity level of Oblivion, is still wonderful with various ways to play a barbarian. You could play a magician, you play a mage, you could play a sword spell, you could play as a sneak archer, you could play as a thief. All of that is wonderful, with wonderful story and a rich and massive world. Tell me anything about
5.
Grand Theft Auto 5's main story. It doesn't matter, right? Because you're over there like mugging
And
people. You
time.
could do that in Skyrim.
That's time. All right, and Abu, you have 1 minute for your closing statement.
All right, so my opponent has made an admirable attempt at peddling the fictitious narrative that Skyrim is a better game than Oblivion. And, while I concede that it certainly has its particular strengths, as a full package, it fails to deliver the grandeur and heights of Oblivion. And here's where I will rest my case. Oblivion Remaster now exists and is available for you all to enjoy. That game borrows some of Skyrim's strengths, actually. Many of the
30
things that
seconds.
Jason has pointed out. Yet it retains the obvious charms that Oblivion, the original game, had in 2006. So now, dear gamer, you can play a more graphically impressive, mechanically refined, and ultimately better game. Or, if you choose, you can run more errands for the Jarl Courier of Winterhold That is, if you can even remember who that is and what Winterhold looks like.
Ooh, all right. We are going to go to a quick break, and when we return, Judge Joel and I will begin our deliberations. And we're back. Joel, how are you feeling? Have you leveled up your
Stressed.
listening skills and contemplative thinking skills from this debate?
I've maxed out on listening. I've contemplated deeply, and I think I have a choice, which shocks me. Because both debates are really good. I have not played either game. I haven't played either game. I have watched my brother play some of Skyrim, so I know a little bit about Skyrim. I love a dragon, and I like the visual designs of it. And I was like, okay, it's probably gonna be Skyrim. I love a dragon. I was ready. I didn't know Oblivion was an RPG game, so suddenly I was pinged. I was like, oh god, okay. But then Jason was describing the Underdark, which that's the D&D term for it. But
Yeah.
I was like, okay, cool. That world. So then I was googling, and I'm like, oh man, that world looks really juicy. But I think what got me was Boo's argument about the gameplay. I love a self-insert game. I really do. And if you become the head of guilds and shit, and then replay it that much, you're constantly doing different storylines as different characters, that's a game that's worth $60 to $80. So that's a game you put money down for. So I think, as much as I do love the visual designs on Skyrim, and as fun as my brother played it probably 3 times all the way through, loves that game. I think I'm Team Oblivion. Aaron, where are you at?
Wow. Well, I have played both.
Skyrim currently $15.
Yeah, I was going to say the price. Let's not bring the price up. Also,
let's
I
not
will
bring the
remind the
Currently
contestants.
available on Game Pass for
This is-
$15 a month.
This is the
Video game average.
judges-
I'm sorry, we live in a new world of $80 video games.
This is just the judges' room. The contestants are not allowed in here. I have played both of them, and I've sunk a number of hours into both. I've had moments in Oblivion where I sat on top of a door frame because I was not allowed to kill someone, but I was also a vampire, so I couldn't leave the room in the daylight. And I wasted so much of my life doing that. And at that point, I was like, what am I doing with my life? I should probably take tests and graduate from college. Similarly, in Skyrim, there have been times when I've opened the map and I'm like, there are so many unfinished quests here, and I don't know what to do. But the biggest problem I think I have with this debate is that Boo did not even acknowledge the Thomas the Tank Engine part of my question.
Oh,
And
wow.
for that, I'm not really sure if I can award that at all. But I will say, Abu had a really good point that in Skyrim, it's a superhero. You play a superhero, basically. You can level up anything at any time just by doing it, which is a really interesting mechanic, and I like that. The more you swing your sword, and you get at swinging your sword, that's kind of like real life. But in Oblivion, I do like that you're not just like all-encompassing. You can do everything. You always have swords and spells, etc.
You love a game rule.
I think at the end of the day, I would probably revisit Oblivion before I revisited Skyrim, if all things were equal, because I have played Skyrim more recently. But
which
also-
debate one? Which debate are you like, this is... Because I feel like it's different. If you played the game and you're basing it off like which games are like more.
Yes, I have a little bit of different, I'm coming at this with my own internal biases. I think from the debate side, I think Skyrim is going to get it for me because Abu's side was really good, and he talked about the story being really important in Oblivion, but just from his description of the stories, it was pretty similar to the description of the stories in Skyrim. And so I think we're going to be split right here. We might have to call in our tiebreaker judge,
We need
Carmen.
a tiebreaker.
Yeah, Carmen, can
Carmen,
you join
tap
us
in.
for a moment?
Speaker of the House, Carmen.
Hello.
Now, Carmen, before you bring your decision to the group, have you played either Skyrim or Oblivion?
So the last time, I have never played Skyrim. I played Oblivion when I was 8 years old on a 2-week vacation in Colorado at my grandfather's house, and I used cheat
So you're an
codes,
expert.
and I had a lot of fun. I have to say, because I love the videos of the Thomas the Train, and I
believe
love.
I'm going to lose to Thomas the fucking
Personal
Train.
experiences here. Okay, we have to rely on the debate. Where are their
Holy
demographics here?
Thomas the Train is going to derail my entire argument.
I'm just
So
saying.
sorry, Carter, please.
I'm just saying. Those Skyrim mod videos are. You can spend a lot of time on YouTube having fun with those. Anyway, I'm gonna have to go with Skyrim for this one.
Defeat.
Sorry, Abu.
I have never forgiven Thomas ever. Oh my god.
Well, there you have it. The X-ray has come to a decision, and in this debate, we are arguing Skyrim is the better game.
Wow.
We will not be going into details on why we made that decision or what arguments swayed us the most. But thank you very much. Both sides did an incredible
Tearing up,
job.
and I honestly don't know if it's from crying or from laughing. Wow.
I can't believe it. What a turn of
Tank
events.
engine. I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming, but I'm excited that we got here. Congratulations, Jason, on your win.
Thank you.
Woo.
Thank you.
Are you undefeated
Well done.
in the ring? Did you win last time?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
We gotta start keeping track of who's winning and losing. We have Ultimate Champions battle off eventually. This was fun, guys. I love this.
You can't go wrong with
You
either
can't
game.
go wrong. Yeah.
You
I really
cannot
played
go
up my
wrong.
Skyrim hate
Yes,
just for the
come
bit
on.
today, but I
Yeah.
love Skyrim so much.
Yeah,
so.
I'm currently playing Oblivion and loving it, so you can't go wrong.
I'm so tempted to re-download Skyrim and replay it, so yeah, you truly
We're
can't
all
go
gonna
wrong.
go
Listen,
play some video
I-
games.
If you need, come to me for the mods. I'll tell
Yeah.
you which ones are good,
Okay,
and they
okay.
really do make the game great. I'll just say that.
Yeah. I just need to know how to install them.
I have a.
In the next few, go ahead.
I have a Resident Evil 4 Leon shirtless mod I gotta talk to you about, Jason.
Oh my god! Yes, let's go.
In the next few episodes of X-Ray Vision, we're diving into a discussion about live-action remakes with conversation around the new Lilo and Stitch movie, and the upcoming How to Train Your Dragon live-action remake. Very excited for that. One of the greatest soundtracks in the last 12 years. Then Tuesday, we have a summer TV look ahead, and Thursday, we're diving into our favorite non-Star Wars sci-fi. That's it for this episode. Thanks for listening. X-Ray Vision is hosted by Jason Concepcion
and Rosie Knight.
and is a production of iHeart Podcast.
Our executive producers are Joelle Monique and Aaron Kaufman.
Our supervising producer is Abu Zafar.
Our producers are Carmen Laurent, Ian Johnson, and Bei Wang.
Our theme song is by Brian Vasquez, with alternate theme songs by Aaron Kaufman.
Special thanks to Sol Rubin, Chris Lord, Kenny Goodman, and Heidi, our Discord moderator.